to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Large. Johnny, calm down.
Calm down, mate. He's got to calm down. Big John.
You know the fishers.
Take too long to turn around if you try and get to him. Bloody fit him in the screen.
You know the fishers are in the house. Yeah, fight week. I come to the gym and spoke to you a couple of weeks ago, talking and looking forward to this date. But now it's here. I know obviously you've done this before, but I suppose you must still get that little buzz and maybe even a little bit of nerves at the start of a fight week, because this is what it's all about, isn't it? Your career rides on stuff like this.
I like feeling a little bit of nerves, because every time I've been a bit nervous before a fight is my best performance. So I want to feel that little bit of, not anxiousness, but that little bit of, I want to do well, you know, because it makes me perform better. But as you said, this is the 7th one now, so you get used to the process a little bit more. And you learn not to waste too much energy in like the press conferences, the media workouts. You just got to roll with it, just be relaxed, because it all matters on Saturday, not what you do now, what you do on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, not like you're going to be jumping around hyper, but that's something I never really thought about, because I suppose there's a lot of fighters who kind of let all of this suck the life out of them, whereas in reality you want to do as little as possible, because as soon as the first bell goes, that's when you're needed.
Definitely. Well, I remember back in Sheffield, I literally did nothing. Like, I just done a few press ups in the ring, a little bit of shadow boxing, that was it. This one I felt like I need to have one more little sharp little burst on there, so it's only a few minutes work, but you've got to listen to your body and what it needs as well, because this can be a little bit beneficial if you want to get a last little burst in as well.
I know at this stage your career is kind of more about you, and Mark will focus on you, but the opponent obviously does matter. You got someone in who was in with David Adelaide, gave him things to think about. All right, he stopped him in the end, but yeah, you got someone in who's going to give you things to think about, and that's positive for your development.
Oh, 100%. This guy is he's similar to the last guy, but just a bit bigger and a bit better. That's how I see it. So it's perfect for my development, just to keep progressing. He's not going to be an easy guy to get out of there, and if I let him have any breathing space or any confidence, he's got 5 knockouts himself, so he's going to be ready to go. So it's another opponent. I've got to win. That's all that matters. And however the win comes, but I'll be looking for that knockout if it's there.
Is this kind of an important stage perhaps now to the end of the year, and perhaps now the next 6 months, because all right, we hear so much about kind of you're still raw and you're still learning, and I suppose you learn right until you're kind of a world level fighter, but is this important in the sense that this is perhaps the start of the next stage of the learning career, I feel?
Well, yeah, as you said, I'm still learning, but everyone in boxing is always learning. Anthony Joshua, who's been a world champion, said that he's always learning. So you've got to be a student of the game. You've got to realise what your level is and what levels you've got to go through, and that's what this journey is all about. Taking little small steps all the time, and then before you know it, that big picture will be there. I'm still on 6 rounders soon. Hopefully early next year, we'll be on to 8 rounders. So it all starts stepping up. But it's about staying grounded and knowing what you're capable of, what position you're in, and how far you've got to go yourself. And then that will lead to a long, prosperous career.
Yeah, because there's a few heavyweights. I would say perhaps 6 or 8 months ago, we kind of had that crop of heavyweights that we were looking at. We put your name in there, young undefeated heavyweights, and everyone was going, cool, I reckon in 3 or 4 years we'll see some right dust-ups. I'm starting to see now some of them heavyweights use their voice a bit more, call for people. I'm not going to name names, people will know if they'd have seen it. There's heavyweights kind of perhaps chirping a little bit. Are we far away from that for you at all?
We're not in competition with anyone. That's the bottom line. I know you want me to come out, I know what you're trying to do, you're trying to fish for one, but on my day, I'll fight anyone, whether they're the champion or they're someone just coming through. That's my mentality. But I'm also aware of my own development, and the right fights will come at the right time. Mark Tibbs is in charge of me. My managers are in charge of me. They know what development I need to do. And the why I'm getting all this world-class sparring in with Joe Joyce, when I go into spar Fury and people like that, I'm only going to get better. So whenever that fight comes, I want it to be when I'm at my best. So we're going to keep going and keep pushing, and we'll get there.
I wasn't fishing. I thought you knew me better than that.
Reeling me in. He was reeling me in. Coogan does it very well as well.
Guess what? It didn't work. So, yeah. Look, about the fans on Saturday night, 2,000 are going to be there. Can't wait to see what it's going to be like when you walk out in Wembley Arena. Again, stuff we've been through about kind of having to deal with that. But do you look at that now in terms of excitement, whereas Ali Palliot was looking at that and going, shit, there's a lot of people out there. I bet now you kind of look at that and go, let's be honest, here or not, they're here to support me regardless of what happens. So something to enjoy, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to enjoy it. You've got to enjoy every moment of your career, because as much as you get nervous and you get the nerves can try and get the better of you, I'm sure as hell when I stop boxing, I look back on these moments and think what a great time that was. So you've got to try and enjoy the process as well. And I am getting better with it. This will be my fourth or fifth time in front of a big crowd now. We had Ali Paddy, that was unbelievable. The O2, we fought in Sheffield, brought 1,000 up there. So I'm getting used to the bigger crowds.
Calm down, Johnny.
He's got to tell me to calm down, of course. But yeah, listen, it is nerve-wracking, but you can use them nerves in your favour. That's what you've got to try and do. And I know where I am in my career. I'm not flash, I'm not arrogant. I know what building blocks I've got to get in place. And for me, doing that in front of a crowd just adds another dimension to it. So I've got to be mindful of that as well.
Brilliant, Johnny. Look forward to seeing you on Saturday night. Top man, mate. Appreciate you.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something. Completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.